So for the first lower body exercise we are going to do a seated squat. So we're going to do it from a seated position. You have the choice of having some weight, which will be this for me, my 2 litre bottle of water. You can empty the water bottle to a load that you feel comfortable with, or you can do it without, that's absolutely fine. On this sort of toddler program, I'm going to try and keep the weight most of the time in the front, because that's where we are carrying the child. At the front here, instead of having like weights and stuff on the shoulders and behind the back, we're going to keep it front loading. So we're going to use the stairs, this is why I'm sitting here today, as our prop, and we will be squatting from the seated position. So first of all, we're going to start with stairs number 2, and if you're comfortable with that, coming down to that level, you can come right down. So we're doing a really low, deep squat, so we're almost going from picking child up off the floor now. So we're getting under the armpits, around the sides, and we're coming sort of up. So what I'd like you to do is we're going to have our toes pointing forward, so up onto the second step. Toes, so our ankles will more than likely be touching the back of the first step for this one. So we're in a nice right angle position. I do have a squeaky stairs, so I apologise. So what we're going to do is hold the bottle or the weight that you have either side. If not, just put your hands up to your chest area. And all we are going to do is, when we come up, we're going to exhale. We're going to exhale deep into the abdominals. We want to feel a nice tightening contraction in the tummy. And what we don't want to be doing is having a pushing sensation down into the pelvic floor. We almost want to be lifting it up with that exhale. A nice tightening sensation in the pelvis here. So when we're lifting children, we never want to be holding our breaths, because it creates unnecessary pressure in the core area. So we want to be exhaling all that pressure that we build up, and this is a lot lighter than the toddlers. So what we are going to be doing is we're going to be exhale through the mouth, lifting up, and inhale back down to the chair, keep it nice and controlled. So exhale, squeeze the glutes, and release. So what I say to clients is, imagine there's some £50 notes on this stairs here, and you want to be picking them up with your butt cheeks. So you want to be lifting them up. So exhale, squeeze. Inhale, gently sit back down. And again, exhale. Feel a nice tightening sensation in the tummy. And inhale. So you will hear that I am really giving it a strong exhale. I'm blowing out those candles on the cake. I'm really using a nice deep force from the inner core. That's where, at that exhale, that point of the exhale at the end, that's where you will feel the nice compression in the tummy muscles. So again, exhale, keep practice. And inhale. Wait for the breath to finish, and then release. So remember, squeezing the glutes and exhale. So when we are ready, we will be progressing down. So again, it's got to be controlled. If you're falling, so you want to be coming down, find that seat, there we go. So once we've got our positioning, if you find that you're falling or falling fast or losing control, then regress back up. So exhale, keep the toes pointing forward, same method as before. Inhale down, stay nice and controlled. Now squeeze the glutes. It's the glutes that are going to get you from this low angle. So we're now picking child up off the floor. We're coming down deep. We're getting under the child, and we're exhaling as we lift the child up. So inhale, relax the tummy, relax the pelvic floor. Use the exhale. Squeeze the glutes. So again, we're still picking up those £50 notes off the stairs. So and lift. Just make sure we keep good control of those knees as well. So keep the knees, and we're not collapsing them in, we're not bellowing out. They're nice and controlled, but still over the ankles. Squeeze. So you'll really feel that in the glutes. So I thought I'd do a nice gentle upper back exercise. So if the legs are feeling tired, then you're welcome to sit down on this one. So toes are going to be flexed. I have a resistance tube. You can equally use resistance bands. You can control like the tension on the band as well. So I'm just going to open my legs a little bit because this is quite a long band. But if you have a shorter band, then feel free just to keep the legs together. So we want to keep our backs nice and straight. So we're sitting on our sitting bones pretty much. So you'll almost have a connection with the pelvic floor to the floor on this one. This one's quite good. So what we're going to do is run our elbows along our waist to behind. I want you to visualise those shoulder blades meeting together, and I always say creating back cleavage, but it's kind of a good visualisation. And then back. So we're not flexing in the hip area at all. So exhale, hold and squeeze so that breath is finished. Inhale. So what you try and do now is gently lift up that pelvic floor with the exhale as well. So you should feel the movement on the floor. So the pelvic floor is coming away from the floor, and then slowly release it back down with the inhale. So we're working the core, upper back, get into those deep abdominal muscles now. Pelvic floor is going to lift. So you almost want it to come away from the floor. Inhale and release. Exhale. So we want to get those elbows as far back as we can. Visualise the shoulder blades. Chest is out. Inhale. Drop. Soften the pelvic floor. Soften the back muscles. And out. Exhale. Squeeze. Feel the tummy coming in. Feel the tightening. And inhale. So we're going to do a variation of wood chopper. Again, a very lightweight. If you want to just use a small cushion or anything, just so your hands are holding onto something, you're in control of the weight you're using. Obviously, child is much heavier, so it would be good to build up the resistance. So, as I was saying, a lot of lifting and twisting goes on with the toddler. Do you think pram? Baby out, child out pram, plonking on the floor, the car seat, it's my favourite. Child out the car seat, hinching them up onto our waists, turning around, shutting car door, lifting up shopping. You know, so there's a lot of lifting and twisting going on. Even just getting the toddler into the high chair, you know, the table's in the way, so we have to sort of twist ourselves to get their legs and the arms in the right place. So there's a lot of lifting and fiddling at the same time. So there's many examples, trolleys, you know, etc. So this is quite a nice one to do. Just make sure you've got a bit of ceiling height so you can put your arms up straight. We're going to keep our arms locked. We're going to hold the outside of the weight. So what I want you to do is just turn. So you've got quite a nice wide stance. We're just out with shoulder width, as you can see. We're going to come low to the knee, and we're going to swing up and over. So we're crossing over the body now, like this. So now our legs are straight. Back down. Both legs are bent, ankles are twisted to the same direction, and then opposite direction. So we're going to full rotation in that body. So we're going to inhale down here, exhale as we do, fast up, slow down. Inhale. Inhale. So really deep exhale. So, and then halfway through your time, you'll be coming over to your, so again, get the set up, over on the right knee, and twist fast, slow and controlled back down. So deep exhale.